We're going to talk about some of those today. Sheila, thanks for joining us.
It's so good to be with you. This is exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I just came off the show with a bunch of guys, and Scott McKay mentioned you because I said that the topic was that Israel will be saved for last, and I said that Israel and the United States are pretty much the same, and because of the 13 tribes basically came to America, and he mentioned you and said, yeah, that's what Sheila Holmes said. They're the American Indians, and I was like, wow, that's very good. So, a lot of us out there are sharing your information. You brought in some really good stuff. What are your thoughts on Israel being saved for last?
The Hebrew Israelites were removed. The 10 tribes are said that they're lost forever because they were in Assyria. They were taken captive 721 BC, and the two tribes in the south, Judah and Benjamin, they were taken, just the wealthy ones, just the productive ones were walked off to Babylon, and that happened in about 587, 586 BC. But in 612 BC, 100 years after Jonah was there and gave the king another chance to not be overthrown, God was done. And he went in and he said, this is it. And that's why now Assyria and Nineveh don't even exist. It's all in scripture, in Nahum. And in that small little book of Nahum at the end, God said, you won't know where they are. He's taken his people and you won't know where they are. But we can't claim all of them.
Yeah.
But 612 BC, God lifted up the water, just like he did with the Jordan and the Red Sea.
Mm-hmm.
So the Red Sea split. It wasn't muddy. It wasn't silt. They walked across. And so it says right in the Apocrypha that he lifted up at the Euphrates. And that's why London was just across the pond, because it was just a smaller area then. But it doesn't matter. Even if it was the same distance as now, in a year and a half, they went to uninhabited lands. So they went south and etc. But if you go straight across, I looked all this up. This is in book 2. In the Apocrypha, if you look up the distance and let's see, latitude goes left to right, right? And so they came across, and the latitude's identical to the Georgia port in Savannah. What are the chances? Okay.
Mm.
And so, but the First Peoples, I don't know if you've Broken Walls. Have you ever heard of that band? If you haven't, I'm going to have to send you one of their songs, because they met at a First Peoples conference. That's what they're called up in Canada.
Huh.
And they're also natives, because the tribes of Israel were given all the uninhabited land in the world. Okay.
Wow.
And so, but to put it in perspective, people don't understand. And this is in the personal letter. God had me do a chronological. This is so funny, because I didn't know these things until God had me do it for this book. In 1906, Jacob became Israel, and it's his 12 tribes. So that truth has lasted among those tribal people. And a lot of us are part of these tribes and don't even know it because of our backgrounds. But he became Israel in 1906. Moses wasn't around till the 1400s. So people think that the promised land over in Israel became the Israelites, and that's where the 10 tribes, and that is where they were, but they were preceded Moses by several years. And Moses lived 650 years. Or no, it was Noah that was 650 with the ark. But anyway, Moses went there from the 1400 time frame. But now here's the gift. If those Native Americans and those tribal people, if they were able to hold the truth together from 1900 BC to get here and to hold it until 2000 AD, I mean, what a gift is this, that the chiefs told the truth to the elders, and they taught the people in the truth. And they raised up to become the elders and the chiefs. So now for 4,000 years, they could hold on to the truth. Is there anybody in America they haven't programmed to not even understand the truth in the last 40, 50, 60, 70 years?
Good point. Yeah.
So we're dealing with a whole different thing. And that's why now Assyria, Nineveh, is Mosul in Iraq. And so when people don't understand the Abrahamic Accords, and so that's why there's so much that people don't understand, because the Philistines in the Bible were the conquerors. The Palestinians are the Philistines. But if they already conquered that land after all these were taken to Assyria, then they've been on that land since that time. So we don't understand history or how it got structured or where people went. But what a horrible thing. Everyone everyone was enslaved. All the tribes, the 10 of the north. And the reason why they're called the lost tribes is because ever since 612 BC, when God went in and told the king, you had a chance, now you don't have a chance anymore. 100 years after Jonah, he said, all of you are living the Gentile land, or Gentile way. I'm done. And so he scooped his people out, and he told them, you won't know where these people are. And that's why they're called the lost tribes to this day. So
Wow.
all this is truth. It's in scripture. I'm not making this up.
No, when I was in Iraq, I did some time up in Mosul, and I learned that it was Nineveh, like you're talking about. And I saw some of the ancient stuff, and it was very inspiring. The terrorist structure there was horrific. They were tough people, but they were pretty much controlled and modified for a while. But yeah, what a fantastic place to learn all this stuff, and then have put it all in perspective, because I have seen a lot of the stuff over the years, and you see those carvings where they have the bean that has wings, and it's holding like a pine cone. What do you think that those beans were? Were those negative beans or positive?
The ones that have the wingspan that goes straight out, that's a cockatrice. And this is in my 4th and 5th book. Once you study the secret societies, there's something called Ahura Mazda. All these things that we don't understand about names of cars, you're going to find a lot of it's the old gods of ancient times. And all their gods are dead. That's the whole fun part. But Ahura Mazda is the ancient religion of Iran, and that bird is everywhere. Now, here's the interesting part. That bird is identical to the cockatrice. What's that? That's the one that is a male bird. It has a crown on its head. It's royal. Okay. It has this long tail, kind of like a dragon look to the whole bird. And then it lays eggs. A male bird lays eggs, and they hatch as serpents. And that's a cockatrice. And that is the picture of Horus, the one eye, the religion of the one eye. And that's in the new book. I don't think I put in the Naomi Campbell picture before. It could have been in 5. But anyway, I put it in because you see Horus, that is actually the son of Nimrod, the great grandson of Noah. And Nimrod, that's why don't be a Nimrod. He went to the sun, said he came back as the sun god. He had a relationship with his mother after his dad was killed. And in that relationship, she gave birth after they killed Nimrod. That is Horus. Now, here's the humor. In Egypt, Nimrod is Osiris. In Egypt, his mother, Semiramis, is actually Ishtar and Isis. We keep thinking it's all these different gods. It's that one family, and it's all the mockery of everything in history of the gods. And so it's just an interesting thing. But anyway, Naomi Campbell's husband, that whole picture of the eye and how they symbolize it with Horus, her husband spent $39 million building her a replica in Turkey.
Yeah, we showed that, I think, in the last show.
Oh, did you?
I think we
awesome.
did. I think you showed us that. So yeah, it's pretty amazing how these negative beings or whatever just continue to keep coming forward, the fallen ones, and trying to take over America and the world. And you're bringing out some really exceptional information, like you just went through it like hot knife through warm butter. It's so simple for you. But I just got tons of information just from that little strip of information you just started rattling off. Wow. So yeah, you're just a wealth of information as far as like, the ancient, histories, and you're rolling it into current times and how they've, they're doing the same thing, the control systems, but it's been the same pattern throughout, millennia. Very, very well done.
But did we talk about the structuring of Israel?
No.
Because when it became Israel,
Mm.
is people have thought bless Israel means bless the state of Israel. It's a corporation developed in England, and it's actually registered in London, and the renewal of that is every February. I've seen the
Wow.
documents of that.
No.
So when they structured that, it wasn't being structured by Hebrew Israelites. It wasn't the return of the tribes of Israel. So Israel being the name, Israel was never meant as the state structure or a corporation. Um, Israel are the 12 tribes and families of Jacob that became Israel in 1906 BC. That's who they are. So the people who are there, and that's what I think is going to be revealed last, because people don't understand. They think you should just keep sending money to Israel because we're supposed to bless Israel. Well, Israel's not is not a government structure. You're
Hmm.
not here to bless the government. You're here to bless the people. And when that happened, I think it was in 1948, none of the Hebrew Israelites around the world, they all started selling everything and going, we're going home. We're going home. Nobody would let them back in the state structure of Israel. They wouldn't let them come back in and be on the land.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. So Donald Trump, of course, in his last
So
administration, go ahead. You're-
there are layers. Did we just freeze for a bit?
yeah, you're a little broken, but I was maybe you can just repeat the last minute or so.
Okay. Hook in. Okay.
So while she gets
Okay.
reestablished, so
Now,
remember how Donald Trump started.
can you hear me from here?
Yeah, that's good. You're coming a lot clearer now. Or we're
Is this helping? They have they had.
yeah. So Donald Trump, remember in his last administration, he brought the embassy back to Jerusalem. So he's been doing the things that no one else could do for decades, generations, probably. What are your thoughts on that? Gosh, we had this the last time too. We had the same problem. It's funny. All right, so she's out. So in her book, she's got. Let me give you just a few of the stuff she talks about. She goes back to Pope Gregory, calendar 35, division of by the church, uh, Hebrew calendar, Roman Emperor Constantine. So she's definitely she talks about for a lot of thought ways that taking down America and the world. And one of the things we try and talk about in the show, but sometimes seems doesn't come through. So time for a warrior's battlefield strategy, a warriors for the Lord. So a lot of these things are I believe some of the things we have to look for. So in that chapter 6, warriors for the world, she's describing the fact is we are the warriors who are boots on the ground to fulfill upon our purpose while we are here. So you know, it's it's a tough challenge as we looks like she's about. So she talked about the fall quest. We do it, and you know the thing that's based on everything perfect, all in one. Now, this is things outlined and how they've been basically taking our system it completely for us. You know, like you know, up now we can see you, but you're muted. So it's a wealth of information if you can get it. So so for instance, in Sheila's book, she has one page where she talks about the Georgia Guidestones, where this is in I don't know what page it is, but few chapters into the book. The former Georgia Guidestones were a sun worship center, which was promoted globally. Buses arrived with international visitors, victims too, but probably because they did sacrifice there, but who fly to Atlanta, so grateful they are going to fulfill upon a lifetime plan to be at their worship center. So of course I think God took out the Georgia Guidestones, and there's during a time frame where Lewis Herms and a bunch of us were going to go up there and pray. So before we could start our way up there, it got disintegrated, right? Lightning struck it, knocked the hell out of it, and then they came in and just bulldozed it and took it away. So these are some of the things that have been happening to the deep state plan, a constant reversal of their ambitions. They've been corralled. Seen the same thing with the Kerrville in Texas, where they had incredible flooding that took out that one girls' school. There was obviously a lot of very high level people that were there that they targeted in this very Christian center, so forth. So we know that they go after that, and that's part of the stuff that Sheila talks about in her book, and that we have to learn to overcome. If we don't overcome them, then they win. But we are pushing back, and I think we're doing a great time. So I'm breaking up also. Bummer. So, all right. So audio gone. Now Sheila breaking up. Everything compromised. All right. Maybe it's just compromised on my end. All right.
Okay.
Sheila, how about there you go.
Okay. What did I miss? I always hate missing anything because what's so impactful of being with you, Michael, is because I've never set foot on any of this soil, and you've already been there, and to be on it makes a world of difference. I don't know how to explain that to people. It's just like when I did the first tour for Gideon's Army at the Faith Monument, and I said, this is the first time I've ever set boots on ground to even tell anybody about this. And one's like, you wrote about this in all your books and you never were here? So how does that work? I mean, it's so funny, but but you're in that environment And with those people, something just shifts.
You're still breaking up, unfortunately. So I wanted to ask you about Kerrville. Now I know you've talked about the. I think we might have talked about it on a show, or maybe I've seen it on one of your shows, where you talk about the solar eclipses and how they basically went, across and they made that cross. Well, that cross actually intersects where Kerrville is, and of course, the flooding came in and took out that one, girls' Christian school or Christian camp. So I think this is some of the things that God has been showing us, and trying to be prepared for these things. What were your thoughts on that? You're muted. Can't hear you, Sheila. There you go. Try it now. All right. So unfortunately, Sheila seems to be bringing a lot of attention from the people that don't want her to bring her message out there. So unfortunately, we're going to call it here. And I don't know, maybe at another point we can get together. One of the things that we do is, unfortunately, we advertise some of these people that I think are targeted.
Okay.
So unfortunately, what we do is advertise some of these people that are targeted. So we're just going to not advertise them and just pop in. I've done that with Juan quite a bit, and we usually have some semi decent shows. The last time he came in, I advertised it, and we got hammered. So we advertised Sheila very early on, and I think that's one of the things that we're learning that you can't do, unfortunately. All right. So she's in and out, so we're just going to call it here. Unfortunately, we've only got a few minutes from her, but it was good. All right, guys, lots of love. Stay in the love vibration, and we'll see you guys next time.